press record, yeah? There we go. You get to reap the rewards of what you're doing in growing an organization. But what's also great about it is it taps into another part of human being psychology in terms of actually helping other people. The majority of people in the world actually like helping people, but unfortunately, a lot of people get ahead in the world by taking advantage of other people, and that's why in the past, people who have been involved in businesses that have a similar model of operation have taken advantage of people. But this is not how Organo Gold works. Organo Gold works by you taking responsibility and building your business in the way that the business has been set out for people to succeed. So how are you building your OG business? Let's be really honest here. How are you growing it? If you're growing it through retail, then that has to be the first foundation. You don't need to know anything about the business apart from how much it costs and being able how to order some product to make money in the business. And if you are not building a retail base, you're not building a business. Even Holton Bugs, every month he's saying 10 new retail customers a month. I've got 7 so far this month, and I'm pushing myself for 10 new ones a month. I'm going to do my best, but why 10? Why not 20? Everywhere you go, there are coffee drinkers, and this is where your business will grow. And if you're not growing your business by a basis of retail, all I can say to you is good luck. You'll probably get far, but not as far as you could. So do you know exactly what it takes? You see, the thing about many things in life, there's so much complication attached to achieving things and doing things. But with this business, it's so simple and such a minimum investment that people often just don't take it seriously. Holton Bugs said at a convention that a few of us were at last year that when he went gold in Organo Gold, which is mainly around about $1,400, he convinced himself that it cost him $1 million. So his action of it costing $1 million was represented by all of the action that he took. When you invest £190 into this business, there's no life and death attached to it. So for most people, they won't take it seriously. They won't follow the leader. They'll try and do it in their own way. They won't stick to what has been laid on a plate for you, the Millionaire Mentorship Call, listening to Cash Cow, reading Think and Grow Rich, the coffee break calls. Everyone write this down, coffee break calls. How many of those have you actually listened to? Most people haven't listened to any of them, and yet that is all about how to grow your business in Zone 1. Zone 1 is all about retail, and people just don't listen, maybe because they just don't want to learn. I have no idea. Black to Gold, which is something that everyone should listen to right at the beginning, is Shane Moran. Shane is the global master distributor, the co-founder. He's laying the way. All you have to do is listen and replicate. But when you were at school and you were told to listen or told to tidy your room, most of us found that rebel inside us that just said no, which is fair enough. There's a rebel inside all of us. But the reality is, look, most of you are just babies in this business. You've just started. We've had some babies in our business and we're helping them grow. And now we're seeing some people that came in and they didn't know anything. Now they know some things and now they're starting to train some people. So yesterday, one of the people in our business, I went to an event that was full of maybe 30 people. Most of those people I'd never met. And I watched what they were doing very carefully. And there was a danger, if they're not careful, that they start to do things their own way. Now look, no one wants to be a robot. No one wants to be a mannequin. Everyone wants to be themselves. But we all have to remember this system is here for people, a way of growing people, a way of just sticking to the program, sticking to the plan, so babies can become children can become adolescents, adolescents can become young men, to adults, to mature people who become independent. And your goal in this business, if you've just started, is to become independent as quickly as possible so that you can help people do the same thing who come into your business. So look, here are the 4 steps to success. And I've actually got Steve here with me, who's one of maybe 7 or 8 sapphires in the UK, and I'm going to ask him to present a couple of the steps this evening. But let's start off with being a product of the product and what that actually means. Well, I've seen a few people in my business who I've gone and had meetings with at Starbucks, and they've actually wanted to have a Starbucks. You couldn't pay me £1,000 to drink a coffee. If you said to me right here and right now, here's £1,000, drink that. I'm not drinking it. I'm a product of the product. I am Organo Gold in everything I do. I know that might sound ridiculous or crazy, but that's just how I live my life. I am a product of the product. Now, you might want to get a pen and paper here, because what seems to happen with so many people is they just make minimum orders, and minimum orders just lead to minimum results. It's just like minimum commitment to the business leads to minimum commitment from the people that are in your business. This is something I learned from Sean Adams, who's another sapphire. I think he's going to be a ruby this month, working extremely hard to grow his business, sticking to the 4 steps, helping people launch their business in the right way. Is you have to work out, how much coffee do you need every month? How much coffee do you drink? How much tea? How many of the nutraceuticals do you take? How much are you going to sell? And how much are you going to sample? And if you don't stretch yourself, I'm stretching myself. I'm taking boxes with me wherever I go. I sold 5. Well, actually, that's kind of a little bit misleading. Kind of sold 5 boxes today, but that's another story. If I'm being really honest, I've just sold 1 box a day. I'm kind of loaning someone 5 bucks. But anyway, I digress. You need to write down how much you drink, how much you need to sample, and how much you're going to sell. And if you push yourself and you have more than maybe you think you're going to sell, then you might sell that amount. If you've got I sell 5 boxes a month mentality, then that's all you'll sell. If you've got the think and grow rich mentality, you might challenge yourself. You might even imagine yourself doing an Ian Phillips and selling 2, 3, 4 cases of the product every single month. And of course, you need to have black coffee and latte. Even if you don't drink latte, those are the 2 products that, if you use the 4 questions of growing your business, you need to take those products with you wherever you go. Setting yourself up for the appropriate auto shipment just quite simply means you've always got product. And if you're in this business, your website is your shop, and that's why it's important to navigate yourself around to understand how it works, the back office, the front of your business, so you know where you are at any one point. That's not what I wanted to see. My screensaver just give me a second. There we go. You set yourself up. You're in the coffee business, and if someone wants the product, and this is what I say to so many people, if you come across someone and they want you to sample them, there's nothing better than putting that product in the post that day so they get it the next day. And you always show that kind of professionalism that you have the product, you're a fan of the product, you love the product. It's just what you consume. Please don't see the fact that there are only 4 steps in this business, that not every single one of them is as important as the one that precedes it, as you'll see now. So why don't I hand you over to Steve, who can tell you a little bit about step 2.
Thank you, Pete. Good evening, everyone. Build a list of contacts. So really your contact list is where your business is going to come from, whether it be retail or whether it be your business builders and the people that are going to be successful in your organization. Chances are most of them at the start are going to come from your contact list. So it's extremely, extremely important that your very first thing that you do is build your list. So a minimum of 50 coffee drinkers and 50 business builders. On this slide, it always says 50 and 50. I would say that's absolute minimum. You only really want to do 50 and 50 if you want a small business. I say put down every single person you know on a list. Once you get that list, then you start to devise that list and break it down into different segments. Those of you who will listen to Cash Cow, which pretty much everyone in this business should, Holton Bugs talks about the 4 checkers. So there's 4 different categories that you rank people on. And you can start to categorize your list like that and work through it. Now, what you should do is work through that list with your sponsor, the person that brought you into the business, as they will be able to help you work out how you're going to expose people. So you may have a group of 4 checkers that that are all very high income earners that own successful businesses. You may want to do a presentation and get them together. You may have a group of trainers or a group of fitness professionals you want to get in a group together, and the presentation will be probably a little bit more about the athletic benefits and stuff of the mushroom. But that's crucial. Get that list done straight away. Now, using that list, you're going to start building up your business. So what we want to look at is getting some retail customers. As Pete just mentioned, the retail is the life of your business. It's your stability in the business. We want to use those retail customers. We want to get those retail customers from that list you've just created. And how do we do that? We use the retail script. Now, the retail script is pretty straightforward, and it's a matter of just ringing up the people in that list that you've put down as coffee drinkers. Really important you don't mix the coffee drinkers and the business builders, please. If you are ringing someone to sell them coffee, do not try and get them to look into the business. That's not your aim. You're going in there to sell them coffee, so focus on that. And using the script, you'd ring them up and you'd say, "Hi, how you going? Steve here. Look, I'm really excited. I've just started a healthy coffee business. Could you please help me out to launch my business and buy 2 or 3 boxes of coffee?" Chances are, if you say 2 or 3 and they care about you, their friends, family, whatever it may be, that they're going to at least buy 1. If they buy 2 or 3, bonus. Make sure you confirm the order before you hang up. So say, "Great, so I'll put you down for that box. Just confirming that. I need to go. I've got a few more other calls to make." It's a great screensaver. Just sorting this out. And that's how you use the script. The 4 questions. The 4 questions, say you were, let's say for instance, you were sitting down somewhere having lunch. You started talking to someone and you just said to them, "Oh, excuse me, do you or anyone you know drink tea or coffee at least occasionally?" Of course, that person would say, "Yeah, I know someone," or they may know someone. And that's where you say, "Well, okay, how do you drink your coffee?" People will tell you latte, black, whatever it may be. "And where do you get that coffee from?" They may say they buy Nescafe, they might say Starbucks, whatever. And then the 4th question is simply, "So when was the last time Starbucks paid you to drink their coffee?" And that's the 4 questions. So that's for those people that you haven't got down on your list and really are strangers and people you want to expose to the business out of that warm market that we call. But that list is so important, guys. That's where your business is going to come from. So make sure it's done. Now we go on to the 3rd slide, which is step 3. So I'll hand back to Mr. Peter Cohen.
So what I'd say to you also, just to add to what Steve was saying there about the list, is your list is never something that is finite. You thought, "I've done my list." I set myself a goal this year, and you can join me if you want on this. It's probably one of the best challenges I've ever given myself, which is this is the year where I'm going to touch more people in a positive way than I've ever touched them before in my life. I'm not talking about physically, even though I might put my hands on them. I'm just talking about touching people's lives in terms of helping them. And I don't have the best memory in the world because I'm always looking forwards. I never tend to look back. But I write down who these people are so I remember them. Because you should really write this down. Again, it's the best bit of advice I've ever been given, which is everyone you meet, think about how can I help these people. Because every person that you meet, they might not come into your business, they might never come into your business, but you never know where you might need that person, where you might meet that person again, who that person will tell about you and what you have to offer. And if you're so short-sighted, which a lot of people are, they want everything now, they want to win now, they want this business to be successful. This business is built upon your foundations of finding and building solid relationships with people. And if you're totally committed to that, you'll be hugely successful. So as far as the CGM is concerned, I'm really lucky that the likes of Steve and Sarah and a number of other people in our business that are doing regular CGMs. CGMs, coffee and jazz mixer, it's a party. It's a sitting down. It's a serving of the coffee. It's allowing people to try what you have. It's presenting the business to them in a fairly informal way, but depending who the audience is, you might want to make it a little bit more formal. Like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. By the way, when sliced bread came out, no one was interested. It wasn't the best thing since sliced bread. And almost sliced bread never came to the form before. It was only that someone who invented it was so persistent that eventually a food manufacturing company called Wonder Bread, they took sliced bread on. and now it's the best thing since sliced bread. Coffee and jazz mixes, they are the heart of this business. That's when you present the business. And if you're not doing these, forget it. Some of you know the story of Jose Ardon, who was told by Holton Bugs to do 3 or 4 a week. Well, he misheard that. He's from Honduras. He did 3 or 4 a day. And he earned last year millions and millions. Why? He stuck to the 4 steps. He kept exposing the business. We did a CGM before this. That's a CGM. It was online, but it was still a CGM. I didn't play any jazz, but it's literally sitting down. And let me tell you a few things that are essential about this. It's how you start and how you close. And a lot of people do not close their CGMs particularly well. And you might not feel comfortable at the end saying something like, okay, who would like to sign up? Who would like to join the business right here, right now? Some people just don't feel comfortable saying that. But why is that? This is a business at the end of the day. And when you finish your CGM, you need to know exactly where you are. You need to know, what do people want to do? Do they want to not join? Do they want to join? Do they want to think about it? If they want to think about it, what do they want to think about? If they want to think about it, get them to buy a couple of boxes, because there's no better way of thinking than trying the product. I had a phone call from someone today who told me that their wife drank the coffee and said it was the best coffee she's ever drunk in her whole life. And yet someone from Sweden today told me they didn't like it. I said, well, you know, it's opening in Sweden. She said, oh, Swedish people won't like it. And I felt like saying, what, are you speaking for everyone in Sweden? The fact is, you can be 3 feet from gold always in this business and not know that you are. You just have to keep talking to people. And the coffee and jazz mixer is always an opportunity for you to share. And let's say no one signs up, but at the end you said, do you know anybody that would be interested in this opportunity? Because with every person that I meet, I'm always thinking to myself, I wonder who you know. And I always find that curious. So there's a very, very famous person. What day is it today? Tuesday. Tomorrow is a very famous person in the UK who's actually from Australia, believe it or not, who is being introduced to the business tomorrow. And who knows, he might join the business. And I didn't know him, but I might end up meeting this person simply because of someone else who I introduced to the business. So please, the CGM, absolutely essential. We have CGMs every single Sunday, apart from this Sunday, because we're going to be at Lyon at the first ever European convention. I wish Michael and Bianca, who are on this call, were able to come. I mean, Ian Phillips, who's one of our sapphires in the business, he's on having chemotherapy at the moment. He's on a break before he has his next lot, but he's coming over because he knows the power of events. Andy Gill is coming over. He knows the power of events. These things are where your business will transform as you get even more inspired about how to take it to the next level. So look, I'm going to hand you back to Steve, who's going to take you through step 4 of the 4 steps.
So plug into a proven success system. So this is crucial with this business, and it was something that was very daunting at the start when I first got in, thinking, wow, there's so many different things you have to look at, so many different resources, so many different. But that's a bonus, that's a plus, that's a huge, huge positive that our business has. And I can say, since I've been in this business, I've spoken to a lot of people from other network marketing businesses and MLM businesses, and they cannot believe the amount of support and the system that we have in this business and the different resources that we have. And I urge you to take full guard and use every single one of these as much as you can. So what have we got? We've got an 18-month commitment. Well, that goes out the door for me. This is, for me, it's commitment till I'm successful. And to be honest, what I'm realizing in this business is you probably never ever get to a point where you need to stop. There's always someone better. There's always somewhere further. And I love that because I'm extremely competitive. But an 18-month commitment for me is just not there at all. It's till I'm successful and till I'm a Crown Ambassador. But I'm hoping by then they're going to have to create some new ranks, because I think we're going to break the mold with the Crown Ambassador. So 18-month commitment. I think that's really for when you start to see some full-time income coming in. No doubt you can do it a lot quicker, but that depends if you're doing Organo Gold alongside another job and how quickly you can build it. So using the weekly CGMs, that's so crucial. Weekly CGMs to make sure that you are consistently exposing the business, and not just exposing it yourself by going to other CGMs, seeing what other people are doing, supporting the other people in your team. One of the most powerful things about a CJM is not even the presentation. It's the energy and being around people, other people in the business who are like-minded. And those of you who know other people in this business and are surrounded by them, you know that there's a common thought process, there's a common energy and a common grace that comes with the people in this business. And I think there's nothing more positive and powerful than being around the same sort of people than you with the same direction. So the weekly CGMs are crucial. Also, to know that you have somewhere consistently that you can send people, even if you're not, and know that the people there are going to look after them, and that the people that are actually going there that you've sent are going to get great exposure, get a great presentation, and meet some cool people in the business, really cool people in the business. I think that's really, really important. So the leadership and business events. Well, we know now that we're pretty much having presentations in some form every single day. We have the first of every month, we have the first Saturday of every month, we have the global CJM, which, in London we have it in Stratford, but it's everywhere around the world in Organo Gold. And that's pretty much all the UK leaders. I think this month it will be in North Finchley. Every other month it's in Stratford. But that's, once again, let's go through the business presentation. But once again, that's getting like-minded individuals in the same place and working out what works and learning from the leaders in the business. And that is so important. One of the things that always baffles me in this business is people that don't listen and don't follow the footsteps of the people who are successful. We are so lucky that we have successful people in this business saying to everyone else, hey, this is what I've done to be successful. Listen and follow these steps. And these leadership events, you get to see that firsthand. We occasionally have the amazing, amazing events where we have the black diamonds and the diamonds coming over from the States and different parts of the world. Get to them. The training calls and opportunity calls. To know that we have one of the millionaires in the business every single Sunday night, Sunday night American time, that goes online and shares what they're doing and what they've done to make their business successful, that is priceless. And of course, it's free. It doesn't cost a thing. But to know that we have that, as we know, other people from other businesses now are listening in. And they're saying, what are these people from Organo Gold doing? And they listen into our millionaire mentorship calls, because we're breaking the mold in network marketing. And these calls are a big part of that. I don't know any other business where you get the most successful in the business telling everyone what they've done to be successful. The coffee break calls every day. You've got another one of successful people in the business taking calls from distributors in the business, asking them how they expose what they're doing to grow their businesses. That's every single day you can listen into them. This system has been proven to create, it's closer to 60 millionaires now in just over 5 years. That is not a coincidence. That shows that this system works. And just like anything that's successful, any kind of business, as Pete says, if you're going to McDonald's anywhere around the world and you order a Big Mac or you order an apple pie or you order fries, I guarantee you that process will be exactly the same in each of the different stores, and it should taste exactly the same because of that. It's the same with this business. You want success, follow the proven success system. And we have it so good to know that we have amazing, amazing leaders to be able to follow in the footsteps of. So we've breezed through those 4 steps, and it really is that straightforward and that simple. You've got to be a genius to complicate those 4 steps, but somehow we all manage to. I've done it. Pete's done it. Have you done it, Pete?
Absolutely.
I feel like a bit of a disc jockey here, a radio
You are
jockey.
a disc jockey of OG radio.
OG.
So I wanted to say a couple more things. One thing I said I was going to talk about this evening was the 3-way call. This is such an underutilized resource that is available to everyone in your business. And I've had 3-way calls with Dr. Rakowski. I've had them with someone way in my upline, Mr. Bernstein. I've done them for other people in the business, where it's literally, let's say one of you found someone. See, the thing about when you introduce the business to people, most people see you in a particular way. And when you present a business opportunity to them that's not in the norm of what you would normally do, sometimes they won't take you seriously. But if you were to say to them something like, look, I'm super excited about this. I've got someone who introduced me to the business and they're very successful, and they told me if I found anyone like you in the business that they would make the time to talk to you. Of course, then you would brief the person who would be speaking to this person. You'd phone that person up, and then you'd let the person, your sponsor, just take over, edify you, let them tell you how great you are and how excited they are about working with you. And then, you perhaps listen to this person about what they want to achieve, and then just tell them what they need to hear in order for them to have a different perspective. See, in life, people often don't change when you tell them what to do, but rather when you give them a different perspective. And that's what's happened with so many people who have come into our business. They now look at this opportunity in a completely different way. And that's what three-way calls can be such an effective tool for you. If you listen to Cash Cow, Holton Bugs talks about how to do three-way calls. They're not difficult, but if you want some more information on that, I would really, really encourage you to do it. Great work can be done, and it can get people over the edge. It takes, in many cases, between 5 and 12 exposures to get someone to join. That means average 5 to 12. That means it could be a lot more than 12. And some people who have come into my business, it's taken 18 months. That's why it's all about nurturing relationships. And look, the last thing I wanted to say to all of you this evening is this. Someone recently joined my business in New Zealand, and he said to me, is it as simple as following the 4 steps? And he said, I don't think it is. He said, because you can have someone who's following the 4 steps, but inside, when they're following them, or when they're speaking to people, they are unsure. They don't believe in themselves. They're frightened of what might happen. And I don't know how many of you have ever come across heart math, which is all to do with the electrical magnetic field of your heart. So the heart is a very powerful organ. It's the most powerful organ actually in the body. It's more powerful than your brain. It generates more volts than your brain does. The heart actually has a brain-like nature to it. It's just most people don't listen to your heart. And it's suggested, or it's estimated, that your heart has a field. So if someone's in your field around you within about 10 feet of you, and if you're in a really bad mood, then chances are they'll be able to feel it. That's why if anyone ever travels to work on the tube and is surrounded by lots and lots of people, and those people don't want to go to work, that person can often feel quite negative and quite drained and think, why? Or they do a job where they're surrounded by people that the people aren't enjoying their work. So please understand this. If you're loving what you're doing and you love the interaction, you love the product, that when you go up to someone and approach them about it, they will feel your heart field, if you like. And in Think and Grow Rich, one of the things that Napoleon Hill talks about is faith. At the heart of all religion is faith. But he then talks about, well, how do you have faith? His understanding of faith is loving what you do, not just loving the result. You love doing this regardless of whether someone says yes, no, maybe, not sure. You just love exactly what it is that you're doing. So just remember, whenever you're in contact with anyone in this business, they are going to pick up on the sensations, on the thoughts, and the feelings that you have. I mean, right now, if I was to ask you, how do you think? How are you thinking? What are you feeling right here, right now? The reason why I'm having huge success in this business is every single interaction I have with someone, I'm making sure that that person feels what's in my heart. And if you have any uncertainty or if you have any doubt, don't expect your business to grow. People don't buy Organo Gold. In most cases, they buy you. They buy how you feel, and they buy how you make them feel. So over the next 7 days, I encourage all of you, I know lots of you are coming to Leon, and I would really encourage you to come with an open mind, with some notes, with a notepad and pen, so you can make some notes. Those of you that aren't coming, review where you are in this business. Review where it is that you want to go and learn. Keep learning, because it's the only way. And keep growing as a person, as a business person, and things will happen for you. In Think and Grow Rich, one of the great stories is about the guy who was 3 feet from gold, who invested in a mine, he invested in the equipment, he found gold, he made some money, he got to a point where he thought there was no gold left, took the machinery out, sold the machinery, and went back to another life and started doing something completely different. The person who he sold the equipment to thought, oh, well, took a bit of a punt, thought maybe there is some gold down there, took the equipment down there and started drilling, and not very long, he found a whole vein of gold that was 3 feet from where the gold had stopped before. And that's what I say to all of you in this business. You're 3 feet away from gold. If you keep speaking to people, if you keep being passionate, you will find people. Because one thing the world is not short of is people looking for opportunities, and coffee drinkers. So all I can say to you is be well, realize that you're a part of a brilliant business. We look forward to seeing you grow and making the most of what this business has to offer. You're pioneers in this business. You have to work a bit harder than everyone else, but ultimately you'll be the ones that get rewarded for it. So it's a good night from me. It's a good night from
me.
And
it's a good night from them.
And then we'll see you soon. Thanks for listening, guys. Good night.
Good night.